Alright, looks like we are live. Welcome back, everyone. We are doing another game of StarCraft 2. We're testing out a new mic. As always, my name is Tebo. With me,
MoreVox.
It's good to have you here, man. It's always good to have you here. Today, in the top right, we're actually seeing a Zerg player, Lowko, one of my personal favorites. I'm hoping to see a good game out of him. In the bottom left, who are we looking at down here?
It looks like we got Team Spectre's Ancestor. He's actually a ladder hero. He actually all the time fights in lower and high masters, and Lowko is one of the frequent players he runs into on the European server.
Interesting. Yeah, I've never heard of Ancestor, but just based on what you're saying, what I've heard, I'm expecting to see some big games here, maybe some big plays out of this. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen. Let's go ahead and get this started now. Start the playback on this, and we're going to be looking at the production tab right now. Alright.
So, as we were saying, up in the top right, we have Lowko from Team Lowko. He also is the owner of Lowko TV.
He is just a great player all around. I would say probably one of my biggest helps when I was actually learning Zerg. He has some very great videos out there. I would definitely check him out if you ever get a chance. I'm expecting to see some pretty good stuff out of him. Let's look at our Protoss player here as well.
And also, as we went over, Team Spectre's Ancestor in the bottom left, he's actually a really good Protoss player. He actually favors gateway units. I've seen him go Stargate a lot in some of the games I've seen from him. I usually see him on other pros' streams as they're playing on ladder. So it's actually really cool to get an up close and more personal view of Ancestor's play.
Very cool, very cool. So far, we're not really seeing anything out of the ordinary. A 10-10 supply out of each of them, Overlord and Pylon buildings. So nothing crazy out here. The Pylon placement, I would say, is the biggest factor in this game right now. What's he going to build here?
I want to say the first thing he's going to build is a Forge. It looks like a Forge fast expand, but sometimes back in Wings of Liberty, I've seen Protoss players open Gateway first. It's a really aggressive opener. I don't foresee him, Ancestor, using it, but it definitely is an option at this point in the game.
Yeah, it definitely is an option, but just based on the placement of the Pylon, I think you're probably correct in assuming that Forge fast expand. There's almost no reason I would see anyone ever put a Pylon too far away from their main base unless they're trying to plug up either a ramp or if they're trying to go for some kind of fast expand.
Exactly. It looks like the Zerg is probably going to end up going hatch first. He hasn't thrown down a spawning pool yet. He could decide to go 14 hatch, 14 pool, which looks like that's what he's going to do. He may not even throw down his hatch. He may just instead be really aggressive and build up some lanes.
Yeah, I see that pool going down. Now he is up to 15 supply now, so I would imagine we're either going to see a gas being taken with this 15 supply, or this hatchery go down. Are we going to see a pylon go down here possibly?
I don't think Ancestor really wants to waste the money on putting that pylon down. He's probably just going to try to block it with the probe and try to just be aggressive and not let the drone build the base.
Okay, yeah, just a little bit of a dilemma. Because I do see here that he has taken his Nexus. Is that before the Forge? Before the Forge?
Yeah, it looks like it's Nexus first and then the Forge. That's actually a really greedy opening. Now his cannons and even his gateways and his warp gate tech are all extremely delayed. His gateway's probably not going to even be done until the it's probably not even going to be started until the 4-minute mark.
Yeah, definitely. I think he was actually probably pretty safe in taking it, though. He does know he delayed this expansion that was going to go down. He knows there was no scouting done until just now. And on top of all that, he did know that the spawning pool was pretty delayed there. Overall, I think he's pretty safe in assuming this. I see the Forge going down. I see a cannon going down. I don't think any Lings are going to get there anytime soon to stop him.
Exactly. It looks like Lowko's probably going to end up throwing down a third hatch. It looks like he's scouting around, making sure that there's no probe shenanigans or any type of proxy gateway, Stargate, etc. Anything in the top left. Yep, third comes down, just gets dropped. Zergling runs about searching for pylons or any shenaniganry. Looks like we're going to continue to see drone production. Queen is getting made, and it looks like Lowko's just going to macro up on 3 bases.
Yeah, it looks like he wants to go for a macro game. Now, I do watch a lot of Lowko, like I was saying, so this isn't anything uncommon. We're probably going to honestly see a big Roach play here. If I had to guess anything, I'd probably guess Roach is where he's going, especially with these 3 bases. Honestly, there's not really much else I could see him doing. If I honestly thought he was going to go for maybe a tier 2 or layer tech, I would have seen him already take a gas by now. That's what I would be expecting.
So do you feel in this predicament, Lowko would be the type of player who would go for swarm hosts?
Never, no. Lowko, if anyone's a serious follower of him, they would probably realize he is not a a swarm host player himself. At least in my from my knowledge, he does not favor the unit at all.
So it looks like he's going to take both gases at his natural expansion, still neglecting to get any gases at his main. The third now drops down and is completed, and there is no drone transfer yet as of this moment. It looks like we're just going to transition into a normal macro game. The Overlord moving into the natural expansion of the Protoss player gets shot at by a cannon, but easily sees there are no gases taken yet at the natural expansion for the Protoss player.
Yeah, he does see that. He's actually over here, and he's seeing here that there was only one gas here as well. Now here's the most important factor. He is seeing at least four of 6 gateways dropping, and he sees that warp gates being researched right now. This is all very important information for him to see. Oh, even a fifth. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a pylon. Here we go.
He's going to see everything. Mm-hmm. And definitely Lowko knows what is coming, and he throws down a Baneling nest. And now he's throwing also 5 extra drones. He's going to continue to drone up and probably hope that Banelings and Zerglings are going to be enough to hold the push.
Well, right here, honestly, I would probably say this Roach Warren is what we're really going to be looking at here. If you notice, Lowko doesn't actually have a lot of gas. He is taking his gas here. But he's actually not mining too much gas at the moment. But by pumping those roaches, he's going to have a solid defense against anything that these gateways can pump out.
I can definitely see a Baneling Roach composition coming out. It's really strong against Protoss, especially Protoss that try to rely more on gateway units than robotic or Stargate units. The Zerglings are going to try to cancel this pylon. It looks like he's warping in a ton of gateway units up here, and it looks like he's heading towards the natural expansion. It looks like one pylon will be canceled, and it looks like Lowko may be safe for the time being.
Yeah, I like this right here. Zergling speed coming in. Banelings, lots of Banelings being made. That's a good thing as well. Now, one thing that I don't think that we can discredit enough here is the spotting on those different pylons. He got 2 canceled pylons. That's actually really significant this early in the game. You don't want them warping units in right outside your bases.
Definitely not. Lowko knows the direction of which the units are coming from. He has his units postured at the third base. He's moving back and forth between the natural and the third. The units are coming in, and now he's going to throw his Banelings at the Stalkers. They explode on the Stalkers, but that was definitely not a good engagement. The Zealots come in behind, and the Roaches are trying to focus down the Zealots.
It's the shields. They have no shields right now. That's an important factor. Those Banelings were able to take out the shields, but will we be able to clean this up? This is not looking good. This is not looking good at all.
And Ancestor is trying to micro the best he can. The Roaches come falling back, trying to meet with the reinforcements. More Stalkers coming in from the back. And it looks like the Roaches are going to try to push away the Stalkers, but is it going to be a successful engagement?
Now, I like this production tab. I see these Roaches. I see these Lings being built. I know that these gateways aren't going to be able to produce as much as 3 bases. 3 hatcheries can pump out way more units.
Suddenly, a burst of units come out from the natural of Lowko, and now he's pushing back Ancestor. It looks like Ancestor's going to have to run away. He only has a couple Stalkers left. Hopefully he doesn't get surrounded. It looks like he's not going to go for a third base anytime soon with all these Lings on the map. Yeah,
this is actually quite the counter, actually. Looking over here, we're not really seeing too much in our production. A Robo is being thrown down. That's probably a good sign. But I'm really worried at this point. Ancestor's not looking to be in a very good position.
Oh, and it looks like he's just going to run right in. And he's going to run right into the main base. He's going to see the Robo, he's going to see the Nexus, and he's going to see the Warpins, and he's going to say, I don't want any part of it, and he's going to start attacking units. He's a little bit of indecision on where he wants to attack. Now he can't exit the base. Now the Mothership Core is just going to start firing away. Hopefully he can focus down some probes.
Yeah, honestly, I think he was just trying to look around with his Lings before his Roaches got there. The Roaches don't have speed due to having no layer, but I don't know, this push doesn't really look like it's going anywhere. These cannons were built by the time the Roaches got here.
Oh, the Zealots right on top of the Roaches, cleaving through them one at a time. The cannons sitting in the back, firing away, and it looks like Immortals are going to get chrono boosted. One Immortal about to pop.
You see? Oh, you are correct. Yeah, this Immortal is going to be a very important factor here. Now you can see the swarm, ever-growing swarm. It's just constantly moving across the map. Let's take a look. Oh, hey, Lowko, we need to get that inject there. We don't want to be leaving that.
Looks like drones are continuously being made 11 at a time, and now suddenly Lowko finds himself in a position where he's up 30 supply. He can now have the opportunity to push back Ancestor, but Ancestor looks like he's gonna be poised to make a good defense against Lowko's incoming roach attack. I don't feel like Ancestor has what it takes to stop it. Ancestor may have to go for a 2-base timing push.
Yeah, I like this this Overlord placement as well. He's constantly having a look at his enemy. He knows what he's doing the entire time, not really letting him go out. That's really good. Now let's take a look at Ancestor's view here. Ancestor knows he has 3 bases, but honestly, he has no idea what kind of tech that Lowko could possibly have. I think that's probably hurting him the most right now, just being completely in the dark.
Suddenly the Protoss army moves out from the natural expansion. Still no 3rd base from Ancestor. Zergling now from Lowko verifies that.
It.
More warpins, and suddenly the chrono boost on the what now is +1 armor from the Protoss player as he moves out onto the map. What looks like to be a 2-base Immortal win.
Yeah, you can definitely tell also from this production tab that he's doing this purposely when +1 is going to finish. So he's going to get over there with a +1 attack upgrade. I think that's really strong for him. The other thing is this pylon was never spotted, giving him a place to warp in. I'm not sure how Lowko looks in this situation, though he is up 30 supply.
Not only that, but now there's a Warp Prism about to finish for Ancestor, and he can use that to bait away the army and warp in another location to take down drones or critical tech structures.
Oh, it looks like he's going to be trying to take out these rocks here. Now Lowko's going to almost sweep by, does this? No, he's going to meet him up front. That's probably the better option, so his reinforcements are cut off. Now if you see here, this splitting, I think this is probably going to be the most important thing there is possible. He's moving these roaches back over here to defend, but also if he needs to, he can push in. He's got this nice big open spot to almost ambush him.
Suddenly the Protoss army comes in, and Lowko finds himself where he has to split his army perfectly to engage. Suddenly the force fields come down, and the roaches find themselves on the right side of the force field.
Yeah, I don't think these force fields back here help too much. Now he's blocking off the reinforcements, but that's a large clump of roaches that once these shields are down, they're going to pop right in. Also, this Immortal right here seems to have kind of walked out of place.
Suddenly now the Zerg player finds himself up 60 supply. He's crushing through this army. He's Hydraless, too high DPS for this Gateway army to hold. Suddenly now, Ancestor finds himself at 66 supply to 132.
Yeah, if you're looking at the production tab, you know 6 more Hydras are pumping out here. This is not looking good at all. Now,
I just don't see what Ancestor can do at this point. He hasn't even taken the 3rd base yet. Lowko's been up on a 3rd base forever, it seems.
Yeah, that's honestly true. Now let's look at the units lost. Zerg 142 units lost, but resources clearly the Protoss lost more resources, and also is not mining as much. That 3rd is so important right now in this game.
Definitely. Lowko continues to sit up on 3 bases, and he's poised now to defend yet again another attack. He comes in here crushing these stalkers. They're falling apart. I just don't see what Ancestor can do it any longer. He needs to get back. These engagements are terrible.
Oh, there's no way non-blink stalkers can fight that many Hydras one-on-one.
And now he's just crushing through this. GG.
GG, yeah. That was a clear GG game. Well played by both of them. Once again, I did mention that I'm not familiar with Ancestor, but he did have a very, very strong push there. What did you think of his play?
Like always, it was what I see is it's heavy gateway units. As you can see with this game, he went Robo instead of Stargate. He actually had Lowko a few points close to death, but Lowko actually barely held. And it was actually, as you can see here, the Hydras and the Roaches come in, and the Warp Prism is what is key at this position. He actually lets it fall to the Hydraless, and his army is basically only coming from one warping point. Lowko knows where the units are coming from, and he prepares for it, and he defeats it.
Yeah, honestly, I would say Ancestor had a very, very, very strong push. Neither one of us can deny that. I believe his problem was probably his target. When he came in here, instead of going straight for the natural, leading him into this wide area where he ended up getting caught at here, I believe his probably best bet would be to sweep around and target this hatchery.
I definitely agree. If he could take down the 3rd base of Lowko, that's basically the lifeblood of this game. It could actually get Ancestor back in the game, but he decides to come right down the middle where Lowko will be most expecting an attack.
Yeah, and at this point, I mean, it clearly does not look good with Lowko's advantage being pretty far ahead here. Ancestor is supply capped. He's kind of... This is an all-in. I think we can call it what it is. This is an all-in. Now, clearly, in this type of situation, what you'd want to do is probably, like I said, prioritize your targets. If you're going to walk in, your first thing you're going to need to knock out is this hatchery. That's going to be his reinforcements. That's going to be his money that he's pumping out. I just don't think this engagement here is what's going to get you into Grandmasters.
Exactly. And as you can see, Lowko just builds the army he needs and he crushes the Ancestor. There's really no way around it. Lowko is the superior player. And that's really all there is to it.
One more time. I just
The
want to
final attack.
This surroundment with these roaches over here on the left, that is just pure genius.
Those force fields that were just not in time.
No.
You could see his army get decimated. It's not exactly where it needs to be because all the sentries get focused down. The Immortals do get a good engagement on the roaches, but he jumps on top of the Immortals, and the Hydras from the back, they just demolish everything.
Yeah, that's really tough as well. On the left-hand side, when he laid down those force fields, the one thing I noticed was I almost wish he. Obviously, both of us realized he probably wanted to put the force fields with the roaches on the outside.
Exactly.
But even when they get on the inside, the best thing you can do is at least break them up. You know what I mean? Do not let them stand in a line where they're shooting at you. Clearly, that wasn't the best engagement. At this point, he's fighting on creep. No observers to take out creep. It's lost at this point.
I don't think the Protoss player ever got blink. It really could have helped the attack if he would have thrown down a critical, maybe tech structure, maybe like blink, or maybe even decided to go to Colossus. That would have helped a lot more. Other than that, it really was a straightforward game. Really, Lowko just macroed up and won the game.
Yeah, that was a very good game. Is there anything else you'd like to add about any of these plays? Anything that you think people can learn from it?
Other than Lowko's a beast, not really.
Lowko is a beast. We can all agree on that. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. Once again, this was a really fun game to cast. My name is Tebo.
MoreVox.
If you have any questions, go ahead and get in contact with us. Our information will be below. You take care. Have a good night.